Well, we're here today launching Sinn Féin's campaign against the austerity treaty and our detailed analysis of that. Austerity is not working. Our core arguments are this: austerity is failing the people of this state and failing the people of the European Union as a whole, and we need to oppose austerity. This treaty would see an extra $6 billion in austerity measures, tax increases on low and middle income families and cuts to frontline services imposed of the people of this state post-2015. It would also give significant power to the European Commission and the European Court of Justice to police these austerity measures and to fine this state if it doesn't comply. Sinn Féin is against this treaty because it imposes greater austerity and sees transfer of powers and sovereignty away from democratically elected institutions in this state to the European Union, the European Commission and the European Court of Justice. Defend sovereignty, oppose austerity, oppose this treaty on the 31st of May.
Well, this week we brought a motion to the House calling for the transfer of fuel duty powers to the Assembly and the Executive, and the reason for that is quite clear. I mean, the British government has comprehensively failed to deliver for people here in terms of our fuel duty rates. We have the highest rates on these islands, some of the highest rates in terms of fuel in the whole of Europe, and people are suffering as a result of that. Now, the unionists have failed to back the motion here this week. And I think that is nothing more than a red herring. Certainly their arguments are nothing more than a red herring in terms of the cost, because the cost at the moment in terms of the fuel duty, which is generated somewhere in the region of £1 billion, that £1 billion goes to the British Treasury and is given back to the block grant in terms of proportionality. So in effect, what we're calling for is for the middleman to be cut out of this, and for that revenue to go directly to the executive, and when that happens, we will have the power then to vary the rate of fuel duty, and in doing so we will be able to ensure that we can react to the economic circumstances here, and we can actually shape it in such a way that we can actually add to the revenue which is coming into the exchequer by reducing the rate as well. So there are a number of avenues we could go down, and I think if we're imaginative, if we're innovative and we're creative, we can actually implement a policy which will benefit not only families but also businesses, in particular hauliers in the north.
Today we're standing out in the white picket line. We're protesting as a sign of support for a colleague of mine, actually, Abdelhadi Al-Khawaja, who's currently on day 72 of his hunger strike in Bahrain. I've worked with this guy, I know him personally. He's a peaceful man. He's been protesting peacefully in Bahrain for years. He's been in exile in Denmark. He went back during the Arab Spring, and he was given a life sentence actually for peaceful protests. He's been tortured. And he's today, as I say, he's on day 72, and meanwhile, you know, they're warming up for the Bahrain Grand Prix, which really just goes to show that we're still living in a world where money makes the world go round. Like, there's thousands of people marching through Manama today, yesterday. There's 3 days of rage, and really there's no sign of anybody listening and not setting Abdelhadi free.
And your personal concerns for your colleague and comrade?
Well, absolutely terrified for him. You know, I know his daughter's well. You know, he's got a family, he's got his grandkids, like, just a fantastic man, hugely inspirational, has done such fantastic work, and really they're just going to let him die, you know, because he's been peacefully protesting for better human rights for all.
Well, we're here as a follow-up from our National Congress, which was in Dublin a few months ago, and it was just seen as important for Republican youth to get together to be able to develop a plan for the year ahead, whether that be our national campaigns. So today we're going to discuss recruitment and planning and education, just getting people in, keeping people in, and what it is that is important for the young people and important for achieving our goal of United Ireland. We're also looking at United Ireland as a campaign on its own. We're going to be discussing breaking up into wee groups so that everybody individual person gets their say, everybody gets to put across their points, and especially because there's at least 2 delegates from every area throughout the country, that every area gets to put forward what they think is important, what it is that Sinn Féin Republican Youth should be doing and what it is that we're going to do.
The obligation on us, but convince me, why should I support Irish unity? What's in it for me, and what are the differences it's going to make to my life?
Yeah, so cúpa mí an cóga náisiúnta agus obviously deirg chunta le sin agus is lá na háchtach é seo ó heh an planáil don stratéis agus na factas a bheith éisiúla going ar written bliana agus tá sé anna táchtach go méid plan úsáide go going den cuid eile den bbliana agus tá sé anna sáúil an méid dín óga gáilinn seo chun an stratéis na chur le chéile. I suppose, yeah, today is a planning day. Obviously it's very important, following on from the Congress and the momentum we've built up from that, to ensure that we have a good plan for the rest of the year and that we're putting out strategy and all the ideas in terms of recruitment and campaigns and that kind of stuff. For this second session a minute ago, I gave a presentation on the Uniting Ireland project, which obviously is one of the party's key campaigns at the minute and key projects. So I just outlined basically what the party has been doing and obviously the importance of the campaign and the things that we're going to have to do. Challenged the young people here, I suppose, to really try and respond to the criticisms that are out there of what we're trying to do and try and offer them a concrete and thought through strategy for achieving Irish unity and for how that would be costed and for how that would make a difference to young people's lives, but also as well challenging them to come up with good ideas for campaigning and how we can really communicate that message well and to achieve our objectives.